In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a CF Eclipse project. This is going to allow you to view and edit your ColdFusion code from the same environment in which you're doing your Flex development. Within Flex Builder, to create a CF Eclipse project, assuming first that you've installed CF Eclipse as I described in the last video, from the menu select File, New, Other. Notice that everything on this menu has to do with Flex. Now we're moving to a different aspect or a different plugin of the Eclipse platform. Within this dialog, select the CF Eclipse category and open it up, and choose the item CFML Project, and click Next. You can name your project anything you like. I'm going to call mine ColdFusion for Flex. And then we're going to point the project content setting at the location of our ColdFusion site. I'll uncheck Use Default. Now, assuming that you followed all of the instructions for setting up the course files, including setting up your ColdFusion sample files, the location of your files will be here. I'll browse, go to My Computer, to the C drive, CFusion MX7, www.root, Flex2 BTB. That again stands for Flex2 Beyond the Basics, the name of this video series. I'll click OK and click Finish. A dialog now asks me, this kind of project is associated with the CF Eclipse perspective. Do you want to open this perspective now? Yes, I do. Whenever I move to a ColdFusion file that's a part of a CF Eclipse project, I want to switch to the appropriate Eclipse perspective. That is the correct arrangement of views and windows that will help me the most with my ColdFusion development. So I'll say yes. And then I'll open my new project, which is listed in the Navigator view. And here are my components. I have the beginning of a component written already. I'll double-click. It's called myservice.cfc, and it has a couple of functions or methods that have already been built. I'll open up all those functions so that I can see their code. First one called getData, and then another one called authenticateUser. We already used the authenticateUser method of this service in a previous chapter of this video series. We used it as a web service, but this same code is accessible from our Flex application as a remote object service. So that's how you set up a CF Eclipse project. Typically, when I set up an application that's going to use both Flex and ColdFusion code, I'll set the two up as two separate projects, one CF Eclipse project and one Flex Builder project. Then I can easily switch back and forth between them. Notice one other thing that's happened in Flex Builder in the upper right-hand corner. My perspective selection area now has three perspectives, the original Flex development and Flex debugging perspectives, but now again the CF Eclipse perspective. To make it easier to switch back and forth between these three perspectives, I'm going to move the cursor to the border between the selector and the rest of the toolbar and drag it out a little bit so that all three perspectives can easily fit in the available space. Now I can switch back to the Flex development perspective, back again to CF Eclipse, and so on. In the next video, I'll talk about how to use remote object services to call ColdFusion component methods.